Welcome back. It is 2028, Election Day 2028, and we are going to be doing our very first, very early prediction in regards to election night 2028. Very early, obviously, but this is what it's looking like so far. Right now, this is a Gavin Newsom versus J.D. Vance scenario. So let's go ahead and get started. It's 6 o'clock p.m., the grace hour, where we have no real races in the presidential race being called. By 7 o'clock p.m., we will already have 3 races being called. Vermont will go for Gavin Newsom, while Indiana and Kentucky, states that border J.D. Vance's home state of Ohio, will go to J.D. Vance easily. 19 electoral votes for the vice president, while Newsom wins 3 electoral votes. It's now 7:30 p.m. We got poll closings in 3 states. We have the state of West Virginia projected to go to the vice president of the United States. Ohio looks like it's in good shape of going to the vice president. At this time, we will now call the state of South Carolina for President Vance. Florida. For Vice President Vance, excuse me. Florida for Vice President Vance. 62 electoral votes for Vice President J.D. Vance. Ohio, we can now make a call. We'll go to J.D. Vance. 79 electoral votes. Vermont is too close to call. Virginia, too close to call at this hour. North Carolina and Georgia, just too close to call. But yeah, this is what it's looking like at the top of the hour. 8 p.m., we got a group of states here. Massachusetts, Maryland, going for Governor Gavin Newsom of California, while we can now project Connecticut and Rhode Island for Governor Gavin Newsom. Delaware, also joining the governor. D.C., the District of Columbia, will also join the governor at this time. Tennessee, going for Vice President Vance. Joining him would be the solid state of Alabama. No surprise there. Alabama going for J.D. Vance. Vance, 1 electoral vote away from going on top of 100 electoral votes here. So this is what it's looking like right now. 8:30 p.m. We can make our projection. Arkansas will go. Well, hang on. Yeah, before that, we'll do Oklahoma. And then 8:30 p.m., we can project that Arkansas will go for Vice President J.D. Vance. Vice President J.D. Vance wins Arkansas pretty easily here. Mississippi going for the vice president. Missouri going for the vice president here. 128 electoral votes. New Jersey is just too close to call. Joining him also is Pennsylvania, Illinois. Illinois, however, we can now project will go for Gavin Newsom. Illinois goes to Gavin Newsom. 60 electoral votes. It's kind of being a little slower as we have now projected here. It seems that during this time, Democrats it's not looking so good for them, as they're still stuck at 60 electoral votes. We will give them an extra electoral vote, that being Maine's 1st Congressional District. Maine's 1st Congressional District will go for Gavin Newsom at this time. All right, it's 9 o'clock p.m. We can now project the latest poll closings in New York. That's going to Governor Newsom. New York goes to Governor Newsom. At this time, we can now project that North Dakota has gone to J.D. Vance, as well as Louisiana, solid Republican stronghold, going to J.D. Vance. Also, we can now project at this time Nebraska, mainly Nebraska at large, the 1st and 3rd Congressional Districts, going for J.D. Vance at this time. Obviously, the 2nd District, the blue dot, as we usually call it, is just too close to call at this set hour. We can now, of course, project the state of South Dakota for J.D. Vance. The state of Iowa, which has been in play in 2024, according to that Ann Selzer poll. She is officially retired, apparently, and this state is now solidly Republican. We can now project the state of Wyoming in favors for J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance will win in the state of Wyoming as well as the state of Kansas. That is also a very Republican state. Newsom still below 100 electoral votes. We'll go ahead and give him an advantage. 99 electoral votes, giving him the state of Colorado. Colorado will go for the former governor. Texas will go for J.D. Vance pretty easily. 201 electoral votes. It's not looking good for the governor of California right now. Looking at these numbers, you have J.D. Vance at 201 electoral votes. Gavin Newsom hasn't even cracked 100 yet. This is pretty concerning for his campaign as we are going to the 10th hour. So that is, of course, 10 o'clock p.m. We can now make a projection that Utah has gone to Vice President Vance at this said point of hour. We can also make another projection. North Carolina will go to Vice President Vance. 223 electoral votes. New Jersey will be projected. It will go for Governor Gavin Newsom. Same margin as 2024. It seems to be like it's probably not going to go over that 6 percentage point. But yes, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, too close to call. Virginia, believe it or not, is just too close to call. New Mexico, too close to call. Arizona, too close to call. Montana is ready to call. Montana, 4 electoral votes for J.D. Vance. Okay. All right. It looks like we are ready to make a call in the Pacific Coast. It's 11 p.m. And we are ready to actually, let's go ahead and give the 2nd district for Vance in Maine. But we're not ready to call Maine yet. Not quite. Actually, hang on. We might make a call in Maine. Maine. Yes, we'll call that for Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom wins Maine. Going in here. And he also will win his home state of California pretty easily. 169 electoral votes. He's catching up, but will it be enough before Vance reaches 270? That is a major concern by his campaign. He also wins the state of Washington. Gavin Newsom winning the state of Washington. 181 electoral votes going in there also. So you also see the state of Idaho in favor and in play for Vice President Vance. So Vance wins the state of Idaho. Republican stronghold would go for him regardless. Oregon. We can make a projection there. It will go for Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom wins the state of Oregon. And we could go ahead and make a projection. Georgia has gone to Vice President Vance, giving him more of an edge to that 270. Closer as you can think. We can now project the state of Virginia for Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom will be the projected winner in the state of the Commonwealth, in this case, the Commonwealth of the state of Virginia. New Mexico, too close to call still. As well as Arizona. Arizona is still too close to call. We can now project Minnesota, however, has gone to Gavin Newsom. 212 electoral votes, giving him more of a closer edge. We can now make a huge projection. J.D. Vance has won the state of Pennsylvania, giving him 267 electoral votes. This is historic because Gavin Newsom now does not have any way forward to 270. No, I should say Gavin Newsom if I said J.D. Vance, but yes, Gavin Newsom has no way forward at this point. No way forward to 270. he is left with no direction forward, leaving him to go to the break room to practice his lines and notes to prepare for his concession speech. It's inevitable J.D. Vance will very well become the next president of the United States. And by that, we can make it official. J.D. Vance wins the presidential election, winning the state of Wisconsin's 10 electoral votes. He will become the 48th president of the United States of America. A historic move, indeed. We can now also project the state of, let's see here. It's now, of course, the next day. We still have 49 electoral votes to count. The blue dot, which is described as Omaha, will go for Gavin Newsom. That's not a surprise. Gavin Newsom wins. Let's see here. We'll also project the state of Michigan for Gavin Newsom. Not Gavin Newsom. J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance wins in Michigan. Pretty big good win there. But here's a state that Trump didn't win, that Vance will be winning in 2028, and that is the state of New Hampshire. State of New Hampshire is going for J.D. Vance. 296 electoral votes. This is the very first time since 2000 the state has now gone Republican. 28 years of voting Democratic has ended in 2028. So a huge significance there. We can also project, we were supposed to call Hawaii a long time ago, but yes, Hawaii, no surprise, Gavin Newsom, and also Alaska for J.D. Vance. So now we got 3 more states, 22 electoral votes. We are going to go ahead and make a projection in the state of Nevada, going for Nevada, J.D. Vance, giving him 305 electoral votes. Looking at the board here. And of course, we have the state of Arizona, state of New Mexico. We are going to go ahead and call New Mexico for Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom will win New Mexico by a tiny, tiny margin. Close win, but I think Gavin Newsom will ultimately carry it barely. But then we can take a look at Arizona, and Arizona will go for J.D. Vance at the end of the night. So this is election night 2028, and this is obviously the very first prediction. Obviously, more to come. So no real changes from the 2024 map. Only difference is New Hampshire is Republican. It will be, of course, in the hands of J.D. Vance in our very first prediction. But what do you guys think in regards to our video? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.